Intelligence Unit, Richard Mdluli was convicted of kidnapping, assault and intimidation after a trial following claims that he had been able to manipulate the criminal justice system to evade justice for the murder of Oupa Ramagibe nearly 20 years ago. The person who tried to investigate Mdluli and was then pushed out of his position is the former head of the Hawks in Gauteng, General Shadrack Sibiya. Sibiya was removed from his position and charged with the unlawful rendition of several Zimbabwean men to their home country, where they then died in police custody. But an internal disciplinary process found that he could not have been on the scene during the operation that saw them handed over to Zimbabwean police. Now, Sibiya has spoken to the SABC for the first time to give his reaction to the conviction of Mdluli. I spoke to him and started by asking him how he felt about the conviction of Mdluli.
I think it is very much important for me to state that I haven't read the judgment in its entirety. And again, considering the fact that the legal process is not yet finalized, he still has got the right to appeal. So it's very much important to be careful in whatever that I want to say. But safe to say that I feel somehow exonerated in that, remember that I was also accused of conspiring or colluding to oust General Mdluli, which in fact it was not the case. So I feel that what this judgment means to me is that I feel exonerated in that the judge made a pronouncement on it that there was no conspiracy.
A lot of things happened to you as a result of this case. I mean, you lost your job, you were investigated, you were accused of very serious crimes. Must have been a very difficult time for you.
Yes, remember that this matter involved the head of intelligence of the country. It was therefore a very difficult investigation to conduct, and it was always going to be a very difficult investigation, considering the fact that the man has got access to power and all the resources as well. So what happened is that as we were conducting this investigation, we were subjected to a lot of things. We were followed, we were investigated. There's a lot of false information that was spread against us. I am sitting with a lot of investigations that were conducted against me. I was charged for fraud, fraudulent kilometer claims. There's a case of high treason that has been opened against me. And finally, I was also charged for illegal renditions, a case that I was never even involved in.
I mean, that illegal rendition case, in the end, it cost you your job, it cost other people your job.
Yes, and what I want to really bring to the fore here is that I was not even involved in the rendition. Even all the judges where this matter was properly ventilated, it was indicated that I was not part of it. Even the chairperson who dealt with the disciplinary process did indicate that I was not involved. But somehow he managed to find me guilty on the fact that I should have known. But how do I know, or how am I expected to know about any policemen who come and operate in the city of Joburg? Because remember that I'm not the National Commissioner of the Police. If people come to operate in Joburg, they don't need my permission. So how am I expected to know that, or how should I have known that there are people who will be coming to trace a foreigner here? I wouldn't have known.
I know that you have evidence on this, and I'll get to that in a second. I do want to ask you this question, though, that you've suggested in the past, and I think you might give testimony somewhere at some point, in which other people in the police manufactured evidence against you.
Yes.
Those people who you say did that, where are they now? Could they still be in the police service?
It is so unfortunate that they are still at work. They are still doing what they do best. They are still at work now as we speak, and they were even promoted. But I can tell you for sure that I'm sitting with manufactured evidence, which is clear that this is manufactured evidence, and that is why even the prosecutor cannot take this matter any further, because he knows he's sitting with manufactured evidence, and we were charged on the basis of manufactured evidence, and those people are there now. They are appointed as senior officials for the job well done.
Let's have a look at this evidence. I mean, you've got various documents. I mean, please feel free to pick up the file and have a look at it. You've got various documents in front of you. Some of them are police documents. Some of them are actually Zimbabwean police documents. How are these documents important?
Yes. As you can see, Stephen, we do have here a letter that was received by crime intelligence from Zimbabwe, wherein they were commending. It is a letter of commendation, where they were commending the Zimbabwean, the official from crime intelligence for the job well done. And this letter was addressed to the intelligence officers. And the intelligence management also congratulated their members, they commended them for the job well done. But we are the ones who were getting charged for the illegal rendition of the Zimbabwe.
So the Zimbabwean government sent, the Zimbabwean police sent a letter to our police congratulating
crime intelligence.
To crime intelligence.
Yes.
Congratulating several officers, which they name in the letter.
Yes, and those are crime intelligence officials.
Yeah. And then you got blamed.
And I got charged, when in fact all these people were arrested by crime intelligence officers.
The people who are still in the force that you say manufactured the evidence, I mean, they could have a big impact on cases that are open now, couldn't they?
Yes, because they will still continue. I mean, these are people who are handled from outside. They are there now, and they'll continue to do what they've been doing, and this is criminal, by the way.
It's been a very difficult journey for you. As you say, there's still legal processes in the Richard Mdluli matter to come. There are various other things that are beginning to happen. And I don't know if you will answer this, but how would you describe what was happening in the Hawks and the police at the time? For an outsider like myself, as a journalist, you get an impression that there were all sorts of battles being fought and that certain people were being forced out of the service. I mean, in a way, you were forced out of the service.
Look, it's really very difficult to say what was happening, because I don't want to find myself having said the wrong things, other than to say that basically what I want to bring to your attention is that when Mdluli was being accused of being involved in the murder of Oupa Ramagibe, he wrote a letter to the Provincial Commissioner of Limpopo asking him to release General Ndlameza to be the one to come and investigate the matter. General Ndlameza, and I'm sitting with correspondence that shows the letter signed by Richard Mdluli himself addressing to the Provincial Commissioner of Limpopo, requesting the Provincial of Limpopo to release Ndlameza to come and conduct this investigation. Ndlameza wrote a report that exonerated Richard Mdluli. It's no surprise that at the later stage, then Ndlameza is then the one to become the head of the Hawks, who immediately when he started, he just dealt with us. He just removed me from office immediately. And that is why the judge said he's a dishonest person who lacks honor and integrity and who made false statement under oath.
So you have a document in this file,
yes,
that shows Beneng Ndlameza ended up investigating Mdluli at Mdluli's request.
Yes, and writing a report that exonerated Mdluli, even commenting on the murder case itself, when in fact it did not investigate the murder.
And Ndlameza then ended up as head of the Hawks?
As the head of the Hawks.
Sure. You had to spend a lot of money defending yourself. I mean, you went through a lot during this time. The state spent a lot of money prosecuting you as well.
Yes, just imagine there was a document that was produced in Parliament where it was stated that the police spent over 17 million on this case of rendition alone. Now, in my case alone, they've indicated that they've spent more than 6 million. Now, what do they think? How much did I spend to defend myself?
What do you want to happen now? Is there anything, do you have any idea that you think this needs to happen now or that needs to happen now? I mean, there's Zondo commissions in play, there are other things that are happening. Is there any specific plan that you think needs to be implemented now?
I think what I really feel like saying now, Stephen, is that I want to commend our judiciary for their commitment in access to justice. I can safely say that our justice system works. And what I want to see happening is that everybody must get justice here. The Ramagibe family, ourselves who have been ousted, who have been removed from office for no good reason, I hope to see justice one day having taken place.
And now let's